And here comes President Biden. He's got quite a pace there. He's got his aviators on, traditional sunglasses. Joe Biden coming out, about to address the nation. He looks pretty perky. He's definitely had his Weetabix. Here he is.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Please. Thank you. Good to see this cabinet and staff together here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please.
Well, there is one man who seems to be the happiest in America right now, second to Donald Trump, and that is Joe Biden. This morning he addressed the nation with a big smile on his face.
I know for some people, it's a time for victory, to state the obvious. For others, it's a time of loss. Campaigns are contests of competing visions. The country chooses one or the other. We accept the choice the country made. I've said many times, you can't love your country only when you win.
Joe Biden failed in his duty to help the American people. All the while, he was sinking into a potato as his cognitive decline gaslit the nation.
I think also, though, Danica, that he should be remembered for the demise of the Democrats. This was the beginning of their nosedive, that they caused this. So Joe Biden's legacy will be tarnished not just by Donald Trump. I mean, sure, he pretty much ended his political career, but in truth, it wasn't Trump that was his undoing. It was his own undoing. It was the Democrats' demise that caused this. And that's why he will go down, I believe, as one of the worst presidents in American history.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate.
And here's Rosie O'Donnell, who last week told us she needed to be medicated, and here she is today.
Get ready, because we're in for one hell of a ride with him at the helm. God bless America, people. That's all I can say. We're going to need it.
Liberal. And so I hope that Joe Biden makes the next 10 weeks as consequential as he can. I don't care about drawing outside the lines or what Republicans may think about it. This is within your purview. You can actually do it, and you should do it. And, you know, one more thing, John, is you have a hell of a vice president right there who has a legal pedigree to sit on the Supreme Court, and let Republicans go crazy and ape. I'm even mentioning that option.
You floating? Are you floating? This is 7:39 a.m. on the East Coast. Did Bakari Sellers just float Vice President Kamala Harris as a potential Supreme Court nominee?
Not only am I floating it, but I want to stir up everything. I want people's heads to explode this morning, so we go into the weekend just knowing that the chaos has not ended just yet.
For over 200 years, America has carried on the greatest experiment in self-government in the history of the world. And that's not hyperbole, that's a fact. We're the people. The people vote and choose their own leaders, and they do it peacefully. And we're in a democracy. The will of the people always prevails. Yesterday, I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory. And I assured him that I'd direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition. That's what the American people deserve.
If you're a woman in Australia and you think the US election doesn't affect us, just know they now have permission to be outwardly and support arrest. Just know that. In your heart, know that they now have permission. They now think they are the majority, and they're so uneducated that they think that because they're the majority, they are right. They now have permission to be racist, phobic. They have permission to laugh about our reproductive health and our reproductive freedoms. Australia follows suit when it comes to America.
The hysteria and misinformation is frightening.
Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans. Bring down the temperature. I also hope we can lay to rest the question about the integrity of the American electoral system. It is honest, it is fair, and it is transparent. And it can be trusted.
There's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States.
Yes, that must be why women actually didn't vote for Kamala Harris. And look, has anyone actually done a welfare check on The View lately?
I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
On January 20th, we'll have a peaceful transfer of power here in America. To all our incredible staff, supporters, cabinet members, all the people who've been hanging out with me for the last 4 years, God love you, as my mother would say. Thank you so much. You put so much into the past 4 years. I know it's a difficult time. You're hurting. I hear you and I see you. But don't forget all that we accomplished. It's been a historic presidency. Not because I'm president, because what we've done, what you've done. A presidency for all Americans. Much of the work we've done is already being felt by the American people, but the vast majority of it will not be felt over the next 10 years. We have legislation we passed that's just only now just really kicking in. We're going to see over $1 trillion worth of infrastructure work done, changing people's lives in rural communities and communities that are in real difficulty because it takes time to get it done. And so much more. It's going to take time, but it's there. The road ahead is clear, assuming we sustain it. There's so much we can get done and will get done based on the way the legislation was passed. And it's truly historic. You know, we're leaving behind the strongest economy in the world. I know people are still hurting, but things are changing rapidly. Together, we've changed America for the better. Now we have 74 days to finish the term, our term. Let's make every day count. That's the responsibility we have to the American people. Look, folks, you all know it in your lives. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. We all get knocked down. But the measure of our character, as my dad would say, is how quickly we get back up. Remember, a defeat does not mean we are defeated. We lost this battle. The America of your dreams is calling for you to get back up. That's the story of America for over 240 years and counting. It's a story for all of us, not just some of us. The American experiment endures. We're going to be okay, but we need to stay engaged. We need to keep going. And above all, we need to keep the faith. I'm so proud to have worked with all of you. I really mean it. I sincerely mean it. God bless you all. God bless America. And may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And that was Joe Biden there giving that hugely anticipated address to the United States, addressing the nation with that final speech there. And the standout line there for me was, "You can't love your country only when you win."
Wait, that's it? Weird, creepy, crazy. No way. Dude, he's happy Trump won. He's happy Trump won. Look at him. He's having a great time. Look at that smile. Joe, where'd your 20 million votes go? Can somebody ask that? Hey, libs. Hey, press. Can you ask that?